Hi, this is Shiloh with My Vegan Life. So happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend and that your week's off to a great start. So tonight I wanted to show you a dish that I make really often, probably at least once a week or once every couple of weeks. This is definitely a regular dish in my rotation, and it's really simple, really easy. You can make a big batch of it, super filling, and I think you're really gonna like it. So let me show you what we're gonna have today. So today we're going to be making veggie chili, and this is definitely one of my favorites, and I actually thought I had made a video about this before, but I haven't for some reason, so I'm really excited to share this with you guys. So here I have one whole large onion that I've sliced into like little half moons like I always do, and we're going to go ahead and saute that in a pan. I have 16 ounces of mushrooms that I've sliced up, just like a real rough slice chop, just into chunks. I have some frozen spinach. There's like 10 ounces of frozen spinach, and I'll use this whole bag. I have 4 cans of red kidney beans. These are low sodium, but I prefer no sodium, but I couldn't find them today. And these are about 13 ounce boxes, and I have 4 of those. I have some mushroom broth. I have about half a bag of frozen corn. I have around 16 ounces of bell peppers, and these are the frozen peppers that I use a lot. I've got 2 cans of tomato paste, and these are kind of small, like 6 ounce cans. And I have a can of green chilies, salt and pepper, of course optional. I have a little chili packet that I like to use. It has all the chili spices in it, and there's no MSG or anything strange in this brand. So I really like these. They also make one for tacos, which is really good. And then I have my nutritional yeast. So you're probably thinking that something's missing, and you're right. Normally I would use diced tomatoes in this as well, or have some fresh tomatoes. And I actually thought that I had a couple of cans of diced tomatoes at home, so I didn't buy any at the store tonight. And when I got home, I realized that I was actually out. And that happens. So that's why I have 2 cans of tomato paste here to kind of make up for the actual tomatoes that I'm missing. So if you want to go ahead and throw diced tomatoes or canned tomatoes into your chili, that would be awesome. Just leave out one of these cans of tomato paste. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to saute our onions, and I've already gotten my pan hot. It actually got a little bit too hot. I had to take it off the burner. So those of you that watch my channel, you know that I don't cook with any oil. So I've just got a non-stick stock pot here. I'm just going to cook it straight in this stock pot, and I'm just going to get this warm, and I'm going to throw my diced onions in there. And you want to hear that sizzle. That means that your pan is the right temperature. So I'm just going to break these up with my spoon. And when you slice them this way, they break up really easy in the pan for you. So it just makes your life simpler. Just going to break those up. And then I'm just going to stir these around until they're the color that I want, until they're kind of caramelized. And it won't take very long. And if you're using salt and pepper, go ahead and add it at this time. Just throw a little bit in there. Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and cook these. So I'm just going to stand here and stir them and wait for them to get hot. And I started out with my pan on high just to get it hot quicker, but then I actually turned it down to about between medium and medium high because I don't want to burn these. I just want to get some color on them. So check back with you in a couple of minutes. See, our onions are starting to get a little color on them, and they're starting to stick to the bottom of the pan a little bit. So when that happens, you just want to have a little bit of water or vegetable broth, or in this case, I have mushroom broth. If you don't have mushroom broth, you can just use vegetable broth, or you can even use water. That's fine. Any of those would work fine for this dish and for deglazing the pan. So I'm just going to put a little bit of mushroom broth in there, just to help deglaze the pan a little bit, keep them from sticking. And I'm going to continue, ooh, steamy, getting steamy in the kitchen. So So I'm just going to let these continue cooking, and I want to get a little bit more color on them before I throw the rest of the vegetables in there. So I'm happy with the color on these. I think they look really good, and you can see how nice and just lovely and caramelized they get without any oil at all. And if you cook them a little bit longer, they'd even get a little bit darker. So you can just kind of do it to whatever you would like. So the next thing I'm going to do is throw in the mushrooms, because those actually need to cook. I'm using fresh mushrooms tonight instead of canned mushrooms. And again, I've got about 16 ounces of mushrooms here, and I just sliced them up just into chunks because I want them to be kind of chunky to help give a little volume and substance to our chili. So again, if you're using salt and pepper, you can go ahead and throw just a little bit of salt or pepper in there if you want. And I'm going to just let these cook down. The mushrooms will start making their own liquid, so you don't have to worry about them sticking, and you just want to let them cook. Okay, you can see how good our mushrooms are looking, and they've made a lot of mushroom juice. Oh, and they smell incredible. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. Nothing like the smell of fresh mushrooms and onions together. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the peppers in, and these don't really need to cook. I just want to warm them up a little bit and get a little bit of color on them. I just tried to burn my wrist. Ouch. So I'm just going to mix those in and give them a minute or so, and then we'll start adding the rest of our ingredients. And while our chili's cooking, I have brown rice cooking in the rice cooker because I'm going to serve this with rice tonight. But you could serve it over potatoes or any kind of grain that you want, or you could also put sweet potatoes into the chili. I've done that several times and it's really good. So our peppers are nice and warm and all mixed in. So now I'm going to add the green chilies. Just going to dump them in there. I love green chilies. I think they give such an interesting flavor to dishes. So definitely one of my favorite things to put in there. But they are kind of spicy, so if you're not into real spicy stuff, you might want to leave them out. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the spice packet here. Get that all stirred in, and then I'm going to do my tomato paste. So now what we want to do is I turned the heat up, and we just want to get this to the point where it's bubbly. And I have to show you guys something funny. Look at this spinach. It came in the bag in these frozen chunks. And I didn't read the bag when I bought it, and apparently it's like little individual serving size spinach chunks, so you can just take it out of the freezer and have a serving. But yeah, I wanted to use the whole bag, so once the chili gets warm enough, these will just kind of melt into it. But I thought that was pretty funny. I've never seen that before. That's kind of cool. So one thing that I do sometimes with my tomato or my acidic sauces is I like to put a little bit of something sweet in them just to cut that acidity. Sometimes I use agave nectar, sometimes I use maple syrup. Rarely I use coconut sugar, but I don't really like to do that because of the texture it has in the sauce. I prefer something liquid. So if you are someone who doesn't like a lot of acidity, or you just kind of want that sweet spicy taste, which is my favorite. I love sweet spicy stuff. You can go ahead and add a little bit of sweetener. I'm going to add just a little bit of maple syrup, like maybe a tablespoon or so. And that's going to just finish off my sauce. But again, that's optional. You don't have to do that. It's just totally up to your taste. Guys, this is done. It's nice and bubbly. The spinach all melted into it. And I'm really happy with the flavor. Got all the spices how I wanted them. So again, just be sure you're tasting as you go along. And, you know, if you think it's a little bit too spicy or not spicy enough, go ahead and adjust it to your taste. These recipes are meant to be customized by you for, you know, the vegetables that you maybe have on hand or that you really prefer, for spices that you really like, and the level of spice that you enjoy. So just be sure you're kind of tasting as you go along. So right now I'm just waiting for my rice to get done. We still have a little bit of time on that. So as soon as my rice is done, I will plate this up and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so here's our chili and our rice. So I just ladled my chili right on top of the rice, and you can see all the veggies and the beans, the spinach. And this smells awesome. I can smell the mushrooms, tomatoes, all the spices. Oh, looks so good. Yummy. All right, let's dig in and see what we think. Okay guys, here we go. This is really hot. So yummy. Oh, this looks so good. I love the way it smells. Oh, I love those fresh mushrooms. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, here goes. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth. So good. It's a little bit more earthy than my chili normally is, and that's because I used the mushroom broth and I didn't have the canned tomatoes, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. This actually turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. So, you know, don't be afraid if you're out of an ingredient or, you know, it's not going exactly how you planned it. It doesn't mean that it's going to turn out bad. So don't be afraid to improvise. Don't be afraid to, you know, just kind of get in there and try to make it work. So I'm going to finish this. Yum. Uh-oh. Throwing food everywhere. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe down below. And also, I will see you guys on Saturday for the next upload. But in the meantime, during the week, you can catch me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And I try to continue posting content on there, even though nothing is happening on YouTube. So be sure that you're following me on my other social media sites for additional content and what I eat in a day, little snippet videos, just kind of cool postings. And it's also a way to catch me online and ask me questions or interact with me a little bit more. So I'm going to finish this delicious chili. Hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time. Bye. Mwah.